Mr. Flynn, you are here on an appeal from a denial of your application of waivers of fees.
Correct. I was told...
Mr. Flynn, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here. I guess you couldn't hear me. Yes, I'm here.
Now I can hear you. And I just... What is the docket number? And please forgive me,
It hasn't been assigned one.
Okay.
I have 200 cases that don't have an assigned docket number. 200's a lot.
It is. It is a lot of cases.
Well, I just want to let you know, the fee waiver that was denied on the stone crushing, Meadow and Woodward Street, LaJoy lawsuit, that 30 of the defendants recently died out of 285. So we're going to have a problem because they are being pumped arsenic, chromium, lead in the air. You've known about it for years, and they're all dying. And my neighbor next door, Terry, just died. She has 11 kids. She died of thyroid cancer. My wife has thyroid cancer. 13 houses in a row have thyroid cancer. It's a cancer cluster. It's due to stone crushing. They are directly behind us, and you didn't approve the fee waiver. These people are dead. 3 people in one family died. 3. The mother and 2 daughters. Oh, excuse me. And the son died, but he died 6 days after his COVID shot. Now, he was...
And you're aware, Mr. Flynn, that you're not licensed to practice.
They are all pro se. All of them. I have an appearance from every single one of them. And they're dead. And you've been delaying it. And now there will be no justice. Huh?
Mr. Flynn, you understand that you're not licensed to practice law in the state of Connecticut, and
I'm
you
not.
do not represent them.
I'm not representing them, and I've told you that 100 times.
Well, where are they?
They're waiting for the document to be filed with the court. We have a weekly meeting. By the way, they're dead. What good is it? You guys are absolutely an abomination sitting on the bench. I mean, here we go. Look at the case I filed right here that we're going to talk about right now, right? This is the 142nd case against Fidelity. You looking at the fee waiver? And you see the complaint?
Just 1 second, I'm trying to pull it up.
Okay. I mean, this is a motion to open, right? What do you see, so I don't confuse the issue? What do you think the case is about?
Just 1 second, Mr. Flynn. I'm conferring with my clerk to make sure I have the right document. So just give me 1 moment. I beg your indulgence.
Right. Every plaintiff in this case is representing themselves. They said so, and they want to. Now the son is dead, so I don't know what you're going to do about this. I mean, I filed this years ago.
The document that I have in front of me, and I want to make sure we're both talking about the same thing, Mr. Flynn.
Right, fee waiver, Flynn versus Colangelo.
That's the one.
Okay, now hold on. The mother and father are saying this chief state's attorney took a bribe of $1.5 million from Richard Blumenthal. Really? Out of the $30 million paid in bribes. Really? And you don't want to hear the case? Because Richard...
That's not what I said. That's what you said.
That is what you guys told me. I'm quoting what you guys said.
My question is, if someone is dead...
Now it's not hearsay. Whatever he told me is fact.
Well, my question is, if someone is dead, why hasn't the family members the representatives of the decedent
He was tasered to death.
filed an action against the people
They did.
that they think are responsible, because this document is entitled Flynn versus Colangelo.
Right. They knocked out my front tooth when I reported the murder of the kid. The kid was tased to death at 1:30 in the morning on his 23rd birthday. And at 5:30 in the morning, 21 cops staged the body cam with an actor. The kid was already dead. The kid was killed in a snuff video, which I have.
I think it's coming to me now. And you filed a motion to reopen, I guess judgment entered against the...
Excuse me, we were proceeding with the case and it got dismissed. Just like the election fraud case, just like the 5G case, just like every case I filed since I'm pro se. All you guys do is rule against me? Really? Because this one's murder.
And then you have filed a motion to open.
Hey,
And
I have a video of the murder.
and you filed an application for a waiver of fees, and I guess my question is, and that's what I deny.
And I am on Husky. I'm losing my vision. I have type 1 diabetes. Judge Adams stole $50 million from me. I am broke. I have a negative net worth of probably 50 million to 100 million. By the way, you know that. You've known it for years. And you're listening to God knows who, Cafaro or one of your buddies. It's remarkable that I'm getting screwed as a favor to other people. It's ridiculous. The discussions are right out in the open. On the Randolph transcript, he talks about 6 judges telling me I'm never going to get a fair trial in the state of Connecticut. And by the way, aren't you one of the administrative court judges? So how could Randolph maintain that you're going to screw me if you're his boss?
Well, I'm not his boss, but...
Are you an administrative judge?
I was at one time. I haven't been for...
Oh, okay. I thought I was under the impression. My apology. I thought you were calling the shots. Your Honor, I have 10 affidavits that Judge White is a drug addict. And you guys continually honor him and worship him. I watched you do it last week during the Heather Lindsay case. You said, he's of utmost stature. Oh my goodness. And you know what? He raped Chris Kelly, who was in court today. He raped Heather Lindsay. You know that. You denied her transcripts. You sealed the case. Excuse me, Van Allen is a criminal, and you know it. And you have to know it. Everyone in the city of Stamford knows that Conklin's a criminal getting bribed $1 million a year by Purdue Pharma, who just killed 100,000 Americans this year. 100,000 through OXY. Ahuja killed his own mother, his own wife, his own son. I filed a protective order. It was denied. Ahuja's claiming he bought all you judges. To my face. To my face. He told Heather Lindsay that was his nurse. Heather Lindsay watched White come in and out of the doctor's office picking up bags of Oxy, and you guys support it. You are wholeheartedly screwing me at every turn. It's on the docket. It's in the record, for God's sake. And yeah, you just asked me, oh, you're not an attorney, Mr. Flynn, because your intention is to harm me because I am not an attorney. That is an obvious bias of yours, because you have denied me hundreds of valid fee waivers, if not 1,000. 1,000.
My point in pointing out that you were not an attorney is not a bias against you.
It certainly is.
It's so, I listen to you.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, go ahead. Go.
It's not a bias against you insofar as you are bringing cases on behalf of yourself.
I have brought this case on behalf of myself.
But of course I don't get to finish my thought.
Oh, okay. All right, go ahead.
It is a position, not a position, it is a statement of Connecticut law that unless you are an attorney, you cannot bring actions on behalf of other folks.
I have never done that. Name one case.
I wanted to
Name one case. Go ahead. You spoke. Now back it up.
Because you were starting to tell me about harm that had been done to others, and that's, I think it might be the only time I ever asked you if you were an attorney.
They're co-plaintiffs because they were harmed.
To others. But in any event, I'm trying to focus on what the issue is here, and it seems to be...
Name a case that I filed on behalf of someone else. Please do it.
I am not in a position to do that right now.
You can't do it.
Mr. Flynn,
It's impossible.
right now, I am asking you, what relief are you seeking from the court? Is it for the fees that were incurred as a result of your motion to reopen?
Excuse me. You just had Clark dismiss the election
Excuse
fraud
me, Your
case.
Honor.
Yes.
Your Honor, what case are we on?
This case apparently does not, I have an application for waiver of fees in the case of Flynn versus Colangelo. It does not have a docket number, at least the document that I have doesn't have a docket number.
Okay, so it's not something on my list. Okay. Thank you.
It is dated, the application for
Excuse me.
waivers of fees
May I interrupt?
is dated November 25th, 2020. Now you may proceed, Mr. Flynn.
Colangelo is a defendant in 20 of my cases. 20. And since you never had the cases, the guy got away with murder. Because I'll tell you this. Colangelo said no tasers were used. If you watch the video, the cops are tasering the kid to death. And they're screaming, "Taser, taser, taser." I got him in the back. Clear as a bell. In the video that you wouldn't have let me admit into evidence. Honestly, folks, you're covering up a murder. It's not your first time. You covered up 30 murders in the stone crushing case. 30 murders. Now, what am I supposed to say? Good job. You can't even mention one case that I ever filed on behalf of anyone else. By the way, Heather Lindsay, who you know, filed her own appearance in every case that I mentioned her in. Chris Kelly filed an appearance in every case that I ever mentioned him in. They represent themselves. They are pro se litigators. Okay? They were wronged. They were both raped by a Hoosier who claims he bought Judge White. Claims he bought prosecutors and elected officials on tape. And you guys dismissed it again and again and again and again. Tell me why you're allowing Judge White to sit on the bench. Tell me. He is a drug addict.
Because he was appointed by the governor and approved by the General Assembly.
He is a drug addict. Do drug addicts have the right to do that? To make rulings in cases?
A person who is appointed to the bench by the governor and approved
No.
by the General Assembly
You're his.
has the right to sit on the bench.
You were his
Frankly,
supervisor.
your comments are better addressed to the General Assembly.
You're. Excuse me? You were his administrative judge. You worked to administrate the law in the court where he presided. And what's worse is that Judge White, Kavanewski, Clark, Kremrich, a whole handful of guys are saying that Mr. Flynn will never get a fair trial in the state of Connecticut. That is what Blowy said on the bench. And guess what? Judge White filed a complaint. I've never met with Judge White. I've never spoken to Judge White. Judge White claimed I threatened him. I've never met him. I've never spoken to him. How did I threaten him? I didn't. I've never met the guy. So hold on a second.
Well, then how would you know he's a drug addict?
Well, hold on. I have 10 affidavits. And you should have looked into it, because...
So you don't know, someone else might know.
Oh, I know. How do I know?
No.
How do I know?
You know is what
I know Micah Hooja.
people have told you.
I know Micah Hooja.
You know is what people have told you. Is that correct?
No. By the way, I've seen all the evidence.
Never met Judge White.
I've never met him. I read the affidavits that are sworn testimony that you won't put on the docket. You won't hear Heather Lindsay's case. Why? You're involved up to your eyeballs in it. She was his nurse.
I have been involved with cases involving Heather Lindsay on many occasions.
Last week you had one.
Give her a fair hearing, but that's not before us.
No, but it was the other day.
And
she testified right on record on that day. And by the way, they won't give her the transcript.
Mr. Flynn, you know enough about the rules to know that it's inappropriate for me to talk about another case now when the parties to that case have not had any notice that you were going to bring it up. So right now we're dealing with your case of Flynn versus Colangelo. What would you like to tell me about that case?
Richard Colangelo determined that no tasers were used when in fact we gave him the video. Really? Because he took a bribe to cover it up. And it was a $30 million bribe. He only got $1.5 million. That's according to the father. Okay? Stephen Barrier's father, Stephen Barrier Sr., who was alive. Now, all this time, Stephen Barrier Sr. signed my petitions. Judge Clark ruled to dismiss the election case where I was running for U.S. Senator and never placed on the ballot. Why? Why? Because you and everyone else on your staff is claiming I'll never get a fair trial, and this is what happened. I was running as an independent for U.S. Senate. Judge Truglia signed a warrant for my arrest, and he is, what? The son of the Senate Majority Leader of the Democratic Party. So you guys are playing political Russian roulette, because you have interfered with a federal election where I was never placed on the ballot, having given 57,962 signatures. It's all related to every case that we file. Well, you have a prejudice. Okay, fine. You've denied me every articulation since 2000. Every single clarification since 2000. Every request for discovery. Every request for an interrogatory. Every request for a subpoena. Every request for deposition. Never had a deposition. One case had 45 depositions. Why? Because Adams works at Kelly Dry, who cashed 1,263 checks of mine. 1,263 checks of mine. Your other associate. Adams has 10 attorneys working for him who've claimed to be my attorney, cashed my stolen checks. You all know about it. It's on every record. It's every single person's discussed it in my cases in over 20 years. You've had cases. I brought it up. You've had cases. Malawi had cases. Clark has cases. I had 25 judges since 2000 deny me every single fee waiver that I am entitled to because I have Husky, and the law says if I have Husky, I'm entitled to court representation, I'm entitled to the fees being waived, the marshal fees, all types of fees. So I filed a case with 42 defendants in 5G. 5G is going to make every kid in Connecticut infertile, cancerous, and autistic. And you guys pushed it through. You dismissed the case with full knowledge that 5G is radiation, subjecting Connecticut residents to, just so you know, you may not know this, Hamden, Connecticut, 5G is 6 million times the legal limit. Okay? Seymour, Connecticut, 2.5 million times the legal limit. So let me explain. Can you see me? Or am I just...
I cannot see.
Okay, so my image isn't there. Okay, listen. 9 RF causes retinal detachment. 10 RF, autism. 11 RF. RF is radio... RF is radiation, okay? It's like sticking your head inside the microwave. The Home Depot in Norwalk, 1800 RF. The Trumbull Mall, 2000 RF. What I'm telling you is, every single person in Connecticut is getting the ever-loving radiation hit on them. So much so, they will not live. Long-term exposure to radiation will kill you. And you guys dismissed the case. Guess what? You have hurt 4 million people by doing that. 4 million. That's on you. I hope you can live with that. That is a disaster. If a baby sleeps next to a smart meter, which are being installed on every house in Connecticut, they will be autistic. Amniotic fluid attracts and absorbs RF radiation, and it cooks the baby's brain. And you guys are causing mass autism. And you don't listen, and you don't care, and you're screwing me, and you're paving your own road to basically fire and brimstone. I mean, give us a break. You guys don't process anything I do, ever. You don't give me the fee waiver. You don't care. Because, hey, the mortgage mills are owned by the judges in the state of Connecticut. Yeah, Spader is an absolute criminal. He is the lawyer on his own cases where he's the judge. Hello, he filed the case, became a judge, heard his own case hundreds of times. And you allowed EMAP fraud, all types of fraud. You allowed Andrew Pritchard to have his house stolen, and he had no mortgage. None. $3.5 million home. Then, you gave the guy who bought his house a protective order so that Andrew can't, and Andrew would never approach the guy. Here we go. We filed 3 protective orders in the last, since May 30th. Heather Lindsay's hasn't been heard. Why is that? Why is that? Mine got dismissed by Kavanewski, and Clark's got, and Kevin Kelly's got dismissed by Kavanewski, okay? Kavanewski is brain dead, and you let him sit on the bench, okay? He is hearing his girlfriend's ex-husband's lawsuit, and he put her on salary, hired her, and loaned her $100,000. If he doesn't have a conflict of interest that you're fully aware of, I don't know who does, okay? Look at every judge I've been mentioning. Look at Bizzuto. Jesus, she's your boss, right? Okay. She let your marshals in the Stamford Superior Court steal 5 of my phones. 5. And my camera. Why? I'll tell you why. Because I brought a federal warrant to view the Edison system, and Megan McCaffrey blocked me. Jonathan Bubar blocked me, and Ryan Flanagan blocked me. I have a federal subpoena to view the Edison record to 2 circumstances where White spoke about me on the record, and I've never met him. And he had called up Truglia. They filed a warrant for my arrest while I'm running for U.S. Senate. And you know what? The statements they made are lies, not true. And guess what? Hearing denied. Really, really amazing. I'm going to go on a national stage, and I'm going to call you guys out everywhere I go for the next year and a half. Because what I've been witnessing is murder. I had a hit put on me by Provader and Larrabee. Larrabee was police chief under Malloy. Provader was chief counsel to the city of Stamford. When Larrabee got transferred to East Haven, he sent a guy with an axe to kill me. I fought him for 2.5 hours. I had 3 trials. Okay. Here we go. Judge Heller, Judge Jacobs, and Judge Provader would not let me introduce 911 calls where they were trying to kill me with an axe. And when I confronted the guy with the axe, who had 77 outstanding arrests, 77 arrests, 55 prosecuted, 22 unprosecuted. The guy was hired to kill a cop named Dealey by a dirty cop. He was hired by a dirty cop, again, to kill a clean cop named Lamb, and he was hired to kill me. And you guys had him sprung to do it. You guys sprung him from jail to kill me. Really, folks? Why? Because I'm a Republican? I thought you were. You're not. I thought you were, but you're not. Because I can prove it. Okay, so when I talk about something like this, I'm concerned that I asked for a protective order from Michael Ahuja, who got caught with $18 million in his trunk, bribing cops from Connecticut to Texas in a federal lawsuit. He went to jail for 18 months, lost the $18 million that was in his trunk, and he bribed, according to his brother, A.J. Ahuja, Judge White, straight up. And you think, since I've been told that by 10 people who probably know that I'm representing them? No. This is what they told me today. Today, I was told by 2 people who I've never met before that they are victims of Dr. Ahuja. Now hold on a second. In 1965, there were 100 opioid deaths in America. 1965. This year, 100,000. Okay, we had the same number of shootings in 1965 that we do today. What I'm telling you is we have an OXY problem that you guys started, taking bribes, 112 million to be exact that I'm aware of. Not you specifically. I don't mean to say Judge Genaurio got the bribe. I'm saying the Democratic National Committee took the money. It went through the proper channels. For God's sake, Spader is a lobbyist for Judah Epstein. You know that. I know that. It's common knowledge. You're allowing that? You're allowing that? He's giving money to Connecticut senators, and you tell me, oh, go to your senators. They got a lot more to do this than you, who know the judge, know his problems that he's created. Listen, Ahuja murdered his own wife. Ahuja murdered his own son. Okay? You know Sam Magliari? I think you know the name, right? Sam Magliari rings a bell?
Only through pleadings that you have filed, or that other...
No, I didn't. I've never filed a pleading on behalf of Sam Magliari.
No, I didn't say that. You've made reference
Okay,
to
Sam's niece was murdered by Ahuja. And you guys are punishing Sam instead of punishing Ahuja. And I have all the I have a whole bag right here. I have transcripts. This is a transcript in my hand. I wish I had the camera on. It's basically the transcript that you won't give Heather Lindsay. It says that Sergeant Van Allen destroyed all the evidence when Ahuja raped her. Are you aware of that? So why'd you seal the case? Why'd you seal the case? You did.
I haven't sealed that.
Yes, you did.
I certainly have not.
I'm told it's sealed.
That's an incorrect statement. Again, I don't want to...
Well, unseal it. Unseal it.
You look at the file...
Unseal it. Excuse me. You denied Heather the transcripts. You said, oh, I already gave them to you once. Yeah, except that the lawyer has them, and he won't turn over the evidence. Why? Because he's now district attorney in Colorado. Yeah, and he's a criminal, by far. I mean, the prosecutors in this country, including Tamaccio, need to go to jail, okay? Because they filed 25 false charges against Sam Magliari. 25 false arrests. And they swindled the bond of the last 5 arrests. They said Sam did not appear in court. I was there. I brought 10 witnesses. We all have affidavits. We all handed them in. I watched Sam appear. Judge McShade said he didn't appear. When he did, I was there. Magliari asked Judge McShane, Judge, you're throwing me out of the courtroom. Am I going to get arrested for not appearing? And he said no. What happened? He went out in the hall and he got arrested. Really? And you guys are aware because of the Edison system that I requested a federal... Why are you blocking the federal subpoena? Tell me. Because I asked Megan McCaffrey. She said, oh no, the judges won't allow this. Really? Ryan Flanagan. Oh no, I'm following the judge's order. Jonathan Bubar. I filed the same motions 6 times in the election fraud case. 6 times. Are you aware that a Chinese national determined the outcome of the Connecticut races? Yeah. A Chinese national. Did you know that James Comey from Westport, Connecticut sold Hammer Scorecard to the CCP? They're running Connecticut's election. I can prove it. Have you ever heard of Seidel? SCYTL? They ran Connecticut's election. Seidel. It is a Serbian company with Serbian programmers run out of Spain the servers are in Frankfurt, Germany. They ran Connecticut's election. Did you bother to read my complaint before you dismissed the case? No. Do you know Terry Joyner, who died of thyroid cancer, who lives next door to me with 11 kids? No. She died because of stone crushing. Yeah. Fact. It's a fact. We're 3 blocks from it. Everyone else closer to it is already dead. They're already dead. There are 80 piles of carcinogens between my house and LaJoy. One's a 1/4 mile long. 1/4 mile of silica, chromium, arsenic, and the Deep says it's a huge problem. We got gutted. We can't help you. Take it to court. Take it to court. They want to testify against the stone crushers that don't cover the piles with tarps, which is state law. They're blowing in the wind in a flood zone. Every time it rains, that crap washes into the oyster beds. You're killing people with carcinogens that come from the destruction of buildings. 18 buildings down on my street were torn down at Washington Village. That stuff was crushed, went, and it's sitting in a pile next to the water in the estuary of the lobster beds. And you guys are allowing it. And all I get is dismissed. Oh no, here's Colangelo took a bribe of $1.5 million. Oh, no big deal. Tomaccio obviously didn't pursue the Ahuja. Arrest warrants. There are arrest warrants that the prosecutor stopped. Why? Because Ahuja bought the prosecutor, bought Colangelo, bought judges, is saying, I bought judges, I own them. And the nurse says, yeah, Judge White used to come to the office all the time, come in the back door, and the doctor would hand him a bag of OXY. Well, did you know that Judge Ahuja's, Judge White's daughter overdosed, Your Honor? Well, guess what? Guess what?
Know it now.
Well, did he give him the drugs?
I think we're getting a little far afield from the case before the matter, so I'm going to conclude the hearing. The appeal for the application of waiver of fees is denied, and the court will...
Excellent. Excellent. I just got finished telling you that I'm on Husky. $34 minutes. Judge Genaurio. Yep. Put a little A1 sauce on them and serve him with a fine Chianti. Have a great day.